Okay, and thanks for joining another episode of the Business Brokers Podcast. Today, I have Lucas Ingala. And by the way, that is Sicilian. And Lucas Ingala, he owns Watchmen Security. He is the founder and the owner operator of Watchmen Security, a Kansas City based security company. And we welcome you to the show, Lucas.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Well, man, you got a real good look. You got a hell of a background there. Young guy, entrepreneurial spirit. Necessity is the mother of all invention. So tell me how you found that Watchmen was something that was necessary for you to create.
I think it kind of found me. So I grew up around entrepreneurship. My grandpa owned a produce company in the River Key way back in the day in Kansas City, and used to deliver produce to people around the area. And so my dad owns a business, and so been around it a long time. And you're always looking to fix something or make something better as an entrepreneur. Um, so I was working for a national firm. They broke up the way that they hunted their own business. So I was working for like a dealership here in town, and I came on a door knocking crew. I was going door to door in 2008 when the recession was going on. I remember walking through neighborhoods and houses are sitting there vacant, and just the wrap on the house is blowing in the wind. But we were writing close to 100 deals a month. I was the top sales guy there month in and month out when I first started, and I needed something to do at night, so I answered this ad, and that's how I started doing. I was going to school of ministry, and then I started doing that. So after about a year of that, they asked me to become a manager, and I started leading the sales team, and I was leading one of the highest producing sales teams here in Kansas City. But I wanted to grow the business. I wanted to actually build something. And what we would do is write these contracts, and then we would sell them off every month. So we weren't retaining any business. There was no customer.
Purely a sales organization.
Yeah, we were a sales organization. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I wanted to establish something. My grandpa, where's the produce business today? It's not around. My dad has, grown a good company. My brother's taken it over, but there's not many people in it. There's just a handful of them, and they go out and lay brick and do stuff like that. So grew up on a farm, hard working. I wanted to establish something that would outlive me. And so I started Watchmen. That was one of the reasons why I started it. I didn't know anything about it. All I knew was the sales side of it.
Do you think that security and the way that it is done now will be trumped by a technology that's later implemented that would take out the way that it's done now?
I think what'll happen is the DIY. So you have Google entering the space. You have Alexa entering the space, Amazon, right? Entering the space. You're going to have a shift in where everyone wants to connect everything. Everyone wants to be plugged in and connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a level of DIY on the residential side of the business. When you start getting into more of what I call a pro install, people are still going to want someone to come out and do this stuff and make it all work.
Sure.
Right. So there's that piece, and then the commercial side of the business. People's buildings are getting broken into. Their employees are stealing from them at times. We do a lot of lot monitoring for auto dealerships in town, and people are taking, they got a couple, $2-3 million worth of inventory out on the lot. And people will just steal cars off the lot. Right. So we actually do outdoor intrusion monitoring that monitors the outdoor area. So we know when someone comes on, we can tell them, hey, you in the gray shirt, you need to get off the property. And prevent them from doing something. It's more of a trespass at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the commercial business isn't going to be a DIY. You're going to have real small mom and pop doing DIY stuff. But, commercial people, they never know when something's going to happen. And part of the game is being proactive. So that's when they'll hire a company like ours. Now, I do think when you're talking about like a monthly subscription service, that's where we shine. So everything we do is cloud. And I do think that people are going to go that route. They're not going to want to have a big capital investment. You're going to have some companies that'll do it, but eventually it's just going to be a subscription service where you just pay us every month and we take care of
Yeah.
you.
Well, so tell me the biggest challenge of your business, because, there could be some people, listening to this podcast that think, well, hell, everybody needs security. Why don't I get in the business? What's the biggest challenge in being in your business, the security business?
Well, you got people and you got process and then you got product, right? So, you where we're at today, is getting our process and structure in place. When you're trying to move 30 people in a direction, right? That's hard.
Sure.
You got to get everybody on the same page, everybody speaking the same language.
So basically management of it is the hardest part, because, to any business sounds easy. Like, oh, we'll just go door to door. We'll go door knocking. We'll get the contracts. We'll hold the servicing rights to it. We'll sub out the technology to where, their monitoring is taken care of. We'll retain the contracts. That all sounds great, but it gets messy whenever you have to get people to implement those processes to get that product to the customer and to make sure everybody's happy. And so what you're saying essentially is that management is the hardest part of it. Is that right?
The maintaining the right culture, right, and maintaining the right feel at your company, right. When it's beyond you, you can control 2 or 3 people, but how do you maintain that culture and managing and setting expectations and managing behavior, accountabilities, right? How do you set the accountabilities in place, and what's your meeting pulse? What's the rhythm? How do you keep people talking the same language? And how do you make the machine work every day and have it work efficiently so your customers can have a great experience? Mm-hmm. That's a massive challenge. Like that, sure. That's going to be the hard thing to do, right? It's easy to go out and knock a door and sell something, but how do you take care of a client? Right. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do after you knock the door? Right.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother. So I think the big thing is, and then we do fire alarm too. So that's life safety code compliant stuff. Not anyone can just walk into that, but in any business, it's not just in mine, Chad, but in any business, it's you're going to have a break point at 3 million, 10 million, 15, 20, you're going to have these break points where you're going to figure stuff out.
Yeah. So would you like other people that are running a security business that might have a problem with implementing the people and the product and the service of, would you like them to come on board with you and bring their assets, their human assets? Maybe you have a stronger model than what they currently have.
Yeah. I heard a guy here in town say, we don't do anything really, what's different about us is the way we do it. What we do isn't, anyone can do what we do. It's how we go about doing it. That's the intellectual property, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're looking for right now is, you're in the acquisition business. I mean, if we had a good company with a good culture and they're just ready to exit, like that would be a great opportunity for us. I'm young. I got a lot of energy. I want to go grow a great business. That would be a great opportunity for us. And we've done a couple little ones. But yeah, if we can bring some talent on board and bring them into our fold and just have it be a win-win for everybody, then that would be an easier way for us to get to where we're going as a company in our goal.
It's a lot easier to grow through acquisition. So if you're going to sell your business, or in your case, buy businesses to grow through acquisition, it's a lot easier to do that than hiring one person at a time. Right. Because as you said earlier, the culture, how do you hire one person, 3 people, 5 people, and then how do you get to 30 or 40 or 50 people and get everybody to be speaking the same language? How do you keep loyalty? How do you keep that culture alive and well? And oftentimes it's just a matter of buying the competition out is the fastest, easiest way for growth. Now, do you believe that that's in your plans to grow through acquisition?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of our plans. Yeah.
All right.
We want to do it. We have great product lines. We have a great model that we're working in right now. We just need more. That's really what we need. Mm-hmm. We need more of the right people and more to go do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Outstanding. Well, tell me some of the benefits of using your Watchmen security versus the competition.
So we have 4 uniques. It's our people internally. We invest a lot in our people. Okay. We send them through personality training, communication training. We invest a lot of money in all of our people to make sure that they're getting continually professionally developed. Okay. Also financially, we make sure that we have a career path for everyone in the company, and they're financially gonna hit what they would like to hit in their life. So professional and financial goals. Our technology is different. So, when I first started this, we would go put these boxes in people's businesses that recorded the video, right? When we're talking video surveillance. And a lady called me once and said, "Hey, I want you to come down here and pull this video for me. I had a break in." I'm like, "Man, this is awesome," right? My first one, I'm going to go down there and bust these dudes, right? So I go down there and I'm all excited and I pull the video, and guess what? The video wasn't there. So she looks at me and she's like, "Well, why isn't the," I'm like, she's like, "You should know this. You're my security company." And I'm like, "You're right. I should know this." So I left that day and I'm like, this is wrong. Like, I shouldn't be putting this stuff in that's on site, not knowing if it's going to work or not. Wait until an event happens and then finding out later that it didn't work.
Well, so now the cloud is the go-to solution. So everything has to be in the cloud now, right?
Yeah. So everything we do, we are a cloud security company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to be connected on an app. You don't have to worry about all the firewall and getting hacked and all that stuff. It's all secure. And it's like Netflix. I mean, you log in today and tomorrow you're going to have the latest and greatest. And if something goes down, your camera goes down, we know about it. We have health checks. We have a whole team here in our office that tells you proactively, "Hey, did you know this is down? We're going to come out and check this out." Or, "Did you know that your door's offline? We're going to come out and check this out." So it's a whole nother approach rather than being reactive and coming out every year, maintaining the server, dusting the thing off, upgrading the window, just all the cost associated, all that goes away. You do pay some monthly cost, but in the total cost of ownership, we'll beat out an on-site system every time. So that's how we're different.
Okay. How old are you, Lucas?
39.
39. Any kids?
I do. I have a little 7-month-old baby.
Oh, wow.
Noah James. He was born during COVID. We almost had him out on the parking lot in front of the hospital.
All right. You named him Noah. And earlier you mentioned that you were going to school in the ministry.
Yeah.
So, I'm ordained myself. I'm an ordained minister. And you named your boy Noah. That's no accident.
Yeah. Noah James. And then I got Rebecca Lene. Rebecca's 3.
Oh, hey, good for you. All right. So you're a family man, still married, I assume?
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. Married, couple kids, just praying to God and working like the devil to build a hell of a security company. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, dude. You got it, man. And I love my church. I love my God. He's the one reason.
What church you go to?
I go to World Revival Church.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's over there. It's a world known church. But I've been there for 15 years.
Awesome.
My life's been drastically changed since going there. I wasn't raised Christian, but God really came down and changed my life and really set this whole thing up. I mean, the business, everything that we have, He's done it all. I mean, I could tell you story after story. I mean, the vans we got, the building we bought, all that stuff, just a ton of testimonies there. So
awesome.
It's been a pretty awesome journey.
Good. Is your church community helping you at all?
Absolutely, man. I mean, every service I go there, I'm changed, right? So
no, I just meant with your business. Is there, there's safety in the multitude of counsel. Do you stay in counsel for your business at your church, or do you find that business is separate from church for you?
So I'm hoping to fill that void. Actually, I've had trouble finding strong believers that can give me good counsel in business.
Yep. That's why I asked the question. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a pastor there and spiritually talk to them. And I bounce. I want to be in, but I've had trouble in the business world finding a mentor and a leader. So I'm hoping to fill that gap myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the problem really is that, scripture speaks of there's wisdom in the multitude of counsel, and that's true. However, when that book was written 2,000 years ago, the landscape of business wasn't the same. The landscape of people weren't the same. This world has changed dramatically over the last 15 or 20 years, much less the last 2,000 or so. So when you go to church and you expect to get maybe some spiritual nutrition,
Yeah.
but yet as a business owner, your whole life, your whole world, everything is surrounding your business. It is. It's how you put food on your table. It's your job, it's your work, it's your hobby. It's how your wife stays secure. It's how you keep a roof over your head. It is the most crucial thing to you. A man's work is. And when you go to church and you can't find good advice and wisdom, um, you start to wonder why. And so for me, church is a place that I can only get so much nutrition from. I have to go and keep my counsel in the business world, and so I get a lot of my church, I guess, from the business world because I keep a real close knit of counselors around me, and it I have replaced church essentially with my counsel of business people that I trust, because if they're faith based and they're in business, then they're my people. And that's where safety is in the multitude of that counsel. Because if you don't keep counsel within your space of business, in this case, Watchmen Security, they're not really much help to you.
Sure. And I have a mentor that I think God brought into my life. He runs a $70 million security company, one of the fastest growing in
There
the
you go.
country.
There you go.
So and that all happened because I was in the right place and the fire alarm went off in this conference we're at, and I just ran into him, right? And so stuff like that, the Bible talks about in Deuteronomy, God's given us the ability to produce wealth, to confirm His covenant, right, with us, and so um, like He's given us tools, and He brings opportunity to us and the ability to go produce money. But that's the key. It's like you gotta go tap into that ability and go do something with it, right?
Well, so God gave me these hands, but if I don't use them, it's my fault.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's just going to happen. So,
Sure.
and some of just keeping my head screwed on straight, you can have all the money in the world. The business isn't my God. My God is my God, and He provides it, right? So keeping my head screwed on straight. I got to have a good marriage. I got to have good kids. It's everything.
Sure. Yeah.
It's everything encompassing,
Yeah.
where it's all moving forward and it's all a part of the kingdom. So,
Yeah.
um, so it keeps me fresh, keeps me sharp, keeps my head screwed on straight.
Yeah.
I was reading a book, and it talks about how entrepreneurs are manic depressive. They go through all these roller coasters. Some of the greatest. You talk about like Steve Jobs and all these guys, and they were a little loony. Because it's just the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. But if you got something solid in your life that gives you nourishment and keeps your mind sharp and keeps you fresh, then you're not so reliant on yourself, and and things can come your way. So
Sure.
the kingdom's been a great advantage, great
Good.
advantage for me.
Good. Well, man, we really enjoyed having you on the show. Give us one last bit of information here. How do you want to be remembered when you're dead and gone? How do you want to be remembered?
Well, it's the kingdom, man. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the kingdom, and we'll have a kingdom platform that people can tap into, that I'm developing. But like you, whether you believe whatever you believe right now, like you need to believe in Jesus, and you need to believe in God. He's the only way. He's the only truth. He's the only life. And I'm not just I'm not doing the Christian thing, right? And preaching religion. But eventually, like if you tap into that source, everything will go good for you. Everything will go good for you here on earth.
All right.
And it's the best investment I've ever made. Is investing in the kingdom.
All right. Well, you heard it, folks. Lucas Ingala, owner operator of Watchmen Security, doing things better, taking care of the customer better, not just being a sales organization, but being somebody you can count on for security. He counts on his wife counts on him, he counts on God, she counts on God. And sounds to me like you might be able to count on Watchmen Security. So check them out. And by the way, Lucas, if we wanted to find you, where do we go find you at online?
Just www.watchmankc.com, or call us at 816-744-8900.
All right. We appreciate you being on the show. You've been a great guest, and we wish you the best of luck, and maybe we'll have you on again in the future.
Thanks, man.
All right.